So we had no roof on that building for the entirety, really. Windows, nice windows there. So let me take you outside. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, if you remember my last renovation video, which I think was probably a couple of weeks ago, you'll know that we have been renovating a building in our garden, which we've called an annex. It used to be a double garage, blah, blah, blah. You can check that whole video out. You'll know that basically we were renovating it to be a studio kitchen because what do I do for work? I write recipes and use a kitchen, I film them. So having a place that wasn't our actual home, like our home kitchen, was always a dream of mine because work-life balance is a funny thing when you do this as a job. So the fact that we could potentially renovate a space and then at the end of the day shut the door and that would be my workspace would be amazing. So we had this idea quite a long time ago now, and we've come across some issues, as you will have seen in the previous video, as we go along. But I thought I'd update you today. But if you haven't watched the other video yet, please go and check that out first, because otherwise potentially a lot of this won't make sense. It's not that long, it's not that boring, but basically it would be useful just for some context and stuff. So go check that out first, I'll link it below or somewhere. And then come back in. So if you have checked out that video or you've just watched it, I'm gonna give you a few little updates before I take you outside to see the progress as it has been over quite a long period of time. It's taken so long, but I'll show you the progress later on in the video. But I just thought I'd give you some updates because there are some things that I haven't filmed because you just get caught up in the moment and kind of just has been a bit of a mess and a bit of a all over the place thing, and I remember to film when it's really late and there's no lights in there, so then I don't film. And I've taken some photos though, so I'll insert some photos as we go along so you can get a bit of an idea, but this will be super quick, and then I'll take you outside and we can have a look at the progress. So firstly, obviously one of the things that seemed the worst and was one of the worst things was all the cracks. There were so many cracks and we've had them all repaired, which I don't know how they repaired them, but they did some stuff and they're smart people who do this as a job, so they repaired the cracks everywhere. And as they were doing all that, we were looking at the whole building, because once you see issues like that, you think, is everything really done okay? And we looked up at the ceiling and, well, I did look up because they told me to, but the people doing this whole process for us looked at the ceiling, looked at the rafters up above, and realised that was only one proper supporting beam for this entire roof, and it wasn't strong enough. So basically, we could make it all look nice inside, we could have put a nice kitchen in, and then realised that actually, from a safety perspective, the roof is not strong enough, and maybe one day it would just fall down, and midway through filming a cupcake video, I would have just been under a pile of rubble. Probably not, but you know what I mean, like it wasn't safe enough. And if this is going to be something that we're gonna, well, not even just something we're going to invest in, but just from a safety perspective, if this is where we live and we're going to go in this, we want it to be safe. So we had to have the entire roof taken off. Literally, I've never had been in a building where there is literally no roof. I've not seen this really before, but the entire roof was taken off, and this had to be done, you know, just for the progress to keep going, and this was done in the middle of winter, so we had no roof on that building for the entirety really of the winter. Well, not the entirety, but for a long period time when it was raining, when it was windy. They obviously covered it all up so it wasn't like, you know, with British weather it rains a lot. So they did cover it when they weren't putting the new roof back on. But it took a long old time. Like, you sort of think, oh, they'll take the roof off and they'll put another roof on. But a roof is not just a roof. There's lots of bits to it. So they had to put all these different bits on, planks of wood, ones that were blue in colour because that's good for outside, something like that. I don't know. I try and take in as much and learn as much as they're going along. But my brain is full all the time and I can't remember it. But basically, the roof had to come off, a new roof was put on. At the same time, when we saw that the roof, you know, wasn't strong enough, we realised all the tiles and stuff were all a bit funny. They were all sort of some of them were leaning inwards and they were sort of bowing and bent, and I don't know. Basically, the roof tiles weren't great. So we decided to have the entire roof redone as well, retiled. We changed it from what they were, which is like, I guess, roof tiles, like orangey, you know, the standard browny orangey ones. We changed it to slate, which looks really cool. And yeah, so eventually the entire roof was redone and it looks a lot nicer. It's a lot safer. Not only obviously was the roof redone, it wasn't redone with just that one beam in. We've got multiple beams now. It's all been done in a really safe and secure kind of way. So we've got a safe building that we can actually go in and not feel like, oh my God, it's gonna collapse. And it looks pretty slick too. Obviously that was quite a big task, and I was like, once that was done, I was like, yes, we can get going with the fun stuff, the like visually appealing stuff. And then we realized that also internally there were quite a lot of issues. It was, I believe it was like, they got the original, or the kitchen that was in there, because we weren't keeping that kitchen, we're gonna put a new one in, obviously. And they could just pull the kitchen units out. It wasn't really attached to anything. The walls, the stud work, I think it's called the stud work. All the walls and the everything behind the walls, behind the plastered walls, was really poor. It was badly insulated. I think that's because it was a garage. So with a garage, you don't have to have the same sort of level of, you know, like a house, because people don't live in there. But then when it was converted, it wasn't done to the standard that you would live in it. So it was, I guess, done kind of poorly. So everything had to be ripped out, new stud work, new insulation. And then obviously when you rip out all the walls and stuff, that means that it's an absolute mess. And that means that those nice sort of white plastered walls were no more. So we had to have all that behind it done, and then all the front stuff done, and then it had to be plastered. And it was plastered like the walls, the ceiling, and that all took blimmin' ages. But it now looks really, really nice, and it's messy in there, it's dusty in there, and it's obviously not been, there's no need for us to clean it at the moment because it's not ready for the next step. But it's looking good. And also, I don't know if I said earlier, but we obviously had a bathroom that was like, it had in there already, it had a toilet, shower and sink, but we thought it would be good to keep the toilet and the sink, because if I'm using it as a space, I don't want to have to keep coming into the house if I need to pee, but we don't need a shower in there. So we made that room, we took the shower element out and put it into the main area of the room so that we'd have more space for the kitchen and stuff, but we've got the toilet and stuff. So that all had to be replastered and redone as well, and actual new walls put in for that, like just very basic stud walls and stuff. But yeah, so there's been a lot more than I could have ever imagined in terms of that too. Like, it's just been so much, and there's probably more. I'm sure there is more. Let me think. Okay, yeah, so there is more actually. The plumbing. So obviously this building originally, I guess, was a garage, so it didn't have plumbing. And then the people who converted it into like an annex or whatever they were using it for, they put some plumbing in. But they put the plumbing in about this much under the ground, so that when we were like digging in the flower bed, I was like, oh, what's that? And it was the pipes. So the pipes were not low enough into the ground, which is not good for many reasons that I don't know the specifics, but like just generally common sense, which obviously meant that because they weren't low enough and then they go all under the patio and stuff, we had to make some additional changes along the way that we were gonna do in the long run, like maybe in a few years' time, but not right now. But then we had to change our plans a little bit. But yeah, I will go outside now and I can show you a little bit of what has been done, what has been changed, where we're up to at this moment in time, and you'll see some of the changes that we didn't expect to do and now we've had to do. We've had to, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. And I don't know why I thought everything would go to plan, because growing up, my parents did some work, I remember, we had an extension put on our house when I was growing up, And I remember that taking absolutely ages. I remember we had to move out for a bit because I remember we had to go up a ladder to get up to top of the house. Not that we ever did that. I had to put a little hat on, like a hard hat, and go up there. Just it wasn't like what we would do. We weren't living there. But yeah, I should have realised, because I've lived through extensive building work in the past, but I just thought, oh, this will be fine, you know. I'll be cooking in there, I'll be doing my recipe videos in there. And literally years have gone past. I can't believe it. Like, we moved into this house quite a long time ago now, really, in the grand scheme of things. And still not done, but let me go and show you what I'm on about. So, now we've got a roof. We've got these beams, we've got windows, nice windows there. We've got this nice panel. But what we're waiting for at the moment is, we obviously need to do the floor. Then we're going to have the kitchen in here. So we need like kitchen units, which we've sorted-ish. So that's going to be being done fairly soon. And then we'll need appliances for the kitchen, which I haven't sorted yet. There's lots of things that need to be done. Obviously in here is going to be, I don't even know if you saw that we put up this, we'd sort of changed this a little bit. So this was obviously the bathroom, and it had a shower in it. Now it doesn't, it's been made smaller, but this is going to be like a little toilet, 'cause we're using this as like a studio, so we don't need a shower. So we're going to have toilet here. This is our cupboards, and they've been painted a nice colour. So this is kind of the most done we've got. Oh, and the ceiling used to be really high in here. Now it's not so much. So yeah, this is where we're up to. It looks good though, I think. Well, I mean, saying it looks good when it looks like this, and I don't really know what all this stuff is. Like, you know, this is ladder, I think this is skirting. But I know that it's going to get there, and I know things take time. And once it's there, it's going to be great. I don't really know what I'm going to do over in this space. I think I'm going to have like some props, like some shelves with some of my like props, like plates and stuff like that. Might have a little desk. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, but this is the progress so far. And I thought it was good that I just did a little update. And now I'll show you what's been going on outside, because it was actually completely, I didn't realise this was going to happen, but it needed to happen because of us getting water and stuff in here. We'd need to dig up a bit of the patio. Patio wasn't great anyway, so we decided we're going to sort out the patio and get a new patio. So let me take you outside. So yeah, this has been going on for quite a while now. Basically it wasn't level, and so they put loads of layers down. We've had diggers in the garden. But we're going to have a new patio. We've got the slabs, but they're not down yet. We also needed to get new drainage. Oh, God. You can barely see this, but this is some sort of levelling thing. Probably ruined it there. But we need a new drainage, so we've got some metal drains that we're having put in. And yeah, the patio is going to go all here. We got some sleepers that we're going to sort of edge the patio. Then at some point we'll sort the grass out because it's a bit messy. And then if I show you around here, on the back of the annex, this currently looks like a pond. It's not going to be a pond. This is the base for what is going to be a brand new shed, which will be really, really nice. We're going to get one that's built just specifically for this space, because it gets narrow at the back, so it will sort of fit and we won't waste space then. So obviously water needs to come out, shed needs to be built, and then we can keep stuff in there, like, I don't know, pots and a lawnmower maybe, or something like that. But yeah, that's all that. And then, God, it's dangerous walking around here. And then what have we got over here? Oh, this is the last thing. I haven't shown you this. This is cool. So we've also got another building in the garden now. Now this is the base of a greenhouse. We're going to have a greenhouse in the garden. This is kind of Mark's thing. He loves gardening, growing vegetables and stuff. So we're going to get a greenhouse. It's going to have like a brick base, and then it's going to be on top of it all glass and stuff. So this is what it looks like at the moment, but we needed to get this base done so that we can actually get the greenhouse sorted, and so I don't think that's going to take too long. But if any of you want growing your vegetable tips or something, I'll try my best, and Mark can also do that. We used to do courgettes and stuff. Maybe we can do a bit more now, but very exciting. And I think that's all the updates for now. We've got some graffiti on the floor, but I think that's to do with how high or something. I don't even know what these numbers mean. I don't really know what's going on. Also, not sure you can hear me because there's an aeroplane going past. But that is the garden update and this annex update. We've also got lights on the outside now, which we didn't have before. So yeah, very exciting. Takes a lot longer than you think, but it'll be worth the wait. I just realised in the previous clip that Peggy was lying in the background. She looked almost like she was dead. She was just chilling out, listening to my voice, I guess. My voice must be very soothing to her. No, she's very chill today, but she just wants to say hello. Do you want to say hello? No? She doesn't really want to say hello. She just wants to go back to sleep. But I thought I would, I mean, everyone loves Peggy, don't they? Anyway, that sort of has brought you up to date. So let me know if you'd like any more sort of progress videos. Obviously, so far, I personally would say it's kind of boring. It's all the stuff that has to be done to make it nice, or to make it livable, workable, usable. And then hopefully coming up soon-ish, I guess, will be stuff like flooring, kitchen, stuff like that, maybe, hopefully, very soon. Well, it'll be coming up in a video fairly soon-ish, but I can't give time frames. But that previous renovation video, so the one before this that hopefully you've watched, that was actually filmed late in 2023. And now we're in, what are we in? April? We're in April? April 2025. We're this time just goes so fast. So it's crazy how long things have been going on. But yeah, I'd like to keep you up to date just to show you the progress. So if you'd like that, definitely stay tuned for that, and let me know what you think. And hopefully, I mean, what can you say? Nice roof, nice windows. I don't know, but just let me know what you think of all this.